Hi, everyone. This is Lizette, your health coach. And today I want to share something with you that I hope will be very useful. I always recommend that people use a food diary or food log of some sort to keep track of what they're eating and the effect that it's having on their health and their wellness, their body, their goals, whatever it is. The reason is because a food diary, like for example, MyFitnessPal, which has been around for a long time, is it helps you know how much of the macros you're getting, how much protein, carbs, fat, as well as sugars, vitamins, and certain other nutrients that are necessary or that you want to keep track of. So MyFitnessPal again is a very well-known one. I've had it and been using it for 15 years, and it's been very useful to me in my journey of weight loss and then muscle gaining and maintenance in general. So it's a really good resource. And one of the really cool things that it has is that you can make your own recipes and you can enter recipes from the internet or from anywhere you want and see what the nutrition is for each one of them, right? So one thing that is really cool is that there are some really good healthy recipes and some not so healthy, right, on the internet, but we don't really know what the nutrition is because there's no label. So this is a way to make your own label for things that you make at home, either from a recipe online or from your own recipes. Either way, it's going to work very similarly. Today, I want to show you how to do that. And I want to use a recipe that's on a website that is already existing, but there's no nutrition information. And so this will make it easier for you to enter it into your MyFitnessPal and keep track of how much your indulgences are adding to your day, right? Or how much nutrition if you're going the purely healthy route. So I'm going to show you a recipe from Orgain. This brand makes this plant-based protein. It's really good. I've had it before. Some people really like it. I prefer whey protein, to be honest, but if you prefer plant-based protein, this is a really good one. It's very clean. And the vanilla one especially, or the chocolate, either one, it's very good for baking. So if you want to make like protein waffles, protein pancakes, muffins, breads that are healthy or at least have some protein, this is a good option for you. And they have a really delicious recipe for pumpkin spice protein zucchini bread. So now that is the season for that, you can maybe work on making one of those that is healthier than what you would get at the store. And you can always make some adjustments, and I'll tell you why. So we have this recipe, for example, right? It says this all you need is a loaf pan, and then it has the ingredients right there. So you can see the ingredients here. You have your 2 cups of oat flour, 2 scoops of the protein powder, cinnamon, all of this. And then it has some instructions for the topping. One tip that I will give you here is if you want to keep your sugars low, you will notice this has a total of 1 cup of sugar. I personally, if I were diabetic or pre-diabetic or really watching my sugar, I would replace all of this with monk fruit sweetener instead so that there's no actual sugar in it or added sugars. If you're not watching your sugar so much, your levels are okay, then by all means keep both of them in, or you can go half and half. I would keep the half cup of brown sugar for flavor, and I would replace the second half cup of organic cane sugar with monk fruit sweetener or stevia or some other 0 calorie sweetener, just to keep things a little lower sugar. And you can always replace the coconut oil for hard healthier oil like avocado oil or olive oil as well. And you can also substitute your pumpkin here for something else. So, for example, a client and I were looking at this recipe looking for a replacement for banana nut bread. So, this is perfect as a replacement for banana nut bread. And all we would need to do is replace that can of pumpkin, that 1 cup of pumpkin, for a cup of bananas. And that would be it. So, now, how do we enter this in MyFitnessPal? So, ideally, you would have your MyFitnessPal here. I'm already under the food and recipes tab, as you can see here. And see, it says here, you can do the work of organizing your recipe, paste the recipe below. Let's see how that works. I've never used that one. I always just enter it by hand, but here you can just copy the link to the recipe, paste it here, and let's see if it works. Oh, it does. That's amazing. Okay, this is fantastic. This is much faster. I was going to say just copy the ingredients. You could also, if that didn't work, you could also just copy these like that and paste them in this other page, in this square. So not a big deal. Now let's see how many servings does it make. This recipe doesn't really say how many servings, but if it's a loaf, if it's a loaf, let's see. I'm gonna have to look this up, guys. Sorry, give me a second. How many slices in a loaf? I don't know if that's gonna be enough. Oh, 24, 16 and 24 slices. Let's go with 16. Okay, so we'll say that there's 16 servings. And so now you know you have to cut it in 16 pieces. And so it will calculate the calories and macros and all the nutrients per serving, which is really cool. That's why I like it. So now if you are going to keep, this doesn't have the topping. If you see that, it doesn't include the topping ingredients, the other brown sugar and all this stuff. It doesn't include that. So that's good because that's kind of extra. And if you're watching your diet, you probably won't be adding that. You can also make a new recipe for that. Or if you're always going to use it, just add the ingredients here. And then you just click on match ingredients. And then it'll go here. So 2 cups of oat flour, that looks right. 2 cups protein powder, but it doesn't say what protein, right? So we're going to put here organ protein vanilla. And so you can just look for it. There it is. And then we just replace it. Wait, did it do it? Oh, 2 scoops, one serving of 2 scoops. And that's how this works, right? So there it is. Organ vanilla, 2 cups of oat flour. Good. 3/4 of a teaspoon of cinnamon, 0.75. That is a lot. 0.75 cups. That's odd. But it says 3/4 of a teaspoon. Oh my gosh. See, edit quantity. And so here we can put teaspoon, 3/4 of a teaspoon. There you go. So you can just kind of correct it like this. Salt, 432 teaspoon, 1/6 teaspoon of salt. Half a teaspoon of salt. We can do the same thing. I don't know what this is. If you can't find what you need, you can just go replace and just look it up. Salt. And then we can just for here, teaspoon, and it was just there. Okay. Baking soda, 3/4 of a cup of baking soda. So the thing is, this does happen. This does happen a lot. So you have to really pay attention to this and make sure that you're putting in the right amount. So this is baking powder, fiber powder. What even is that? So we're just going to go here, baking powder. Here, perfect. Baking powder, generic. Yes, teaspoon. Perfect. 2 eggs, 2 cups of egg. No, that is not correct. We want 2 eggs themselves. So 1 egg, 2, half a cup packed brown sugar. That is correct. I don't know, but see how many calories half a cup of brown sugar has? That is a lot. So just keep that in mind if you're going to leave these here. So I'm going to leave these just so that we can see what the normal amount of sugar and nutrients this particular recipe has, but you can always adjust it. This is 1/4 of a container. That's not what we need. We need 1/4 cup. So we'll go cup and 1/4. Perfect. And then canned pumpkin. It says 1.7 cups, but the recipe asked for a cup. So, oh no, edit quantity. So we're just going to put a cup here. And then we have shredded zucchini, drained. That's not what we need. Shredded zucchini, but not drained. Zucchini. Shredded zucchini. Oh, am I spelling zucchini wrong? Is it 2 N's? Okay, yeah. And then this is, how much is it? 1 3/4 cup. Okay, so that's perfect. And then walnuts, 50 grams, half a cup. Oh, no, quantity, half a cup. Oh, there is no cup. Okay, let's replace it. Walnuts. Perfect. Walnuts generic. We need a cup. and it's half cup. Perfect. So that's it. That's all of the ingredients for our recipe. Okay, so we have our 13 ingredients. We corrected them, made sure that they're all right. 2 cups of oat flour. That's good. Okay. So each serving has 174 calories. And let's see what the nutrition is. Save it. Oh, I love that it puts the picture in it too. That's really good. Okay, so now let's log it. I'm going to enter it today as if I had had it for breakfast and I had 1 serving, let's say, log it. And then so we'll be able to see the nutrition on it. And so now we can see here it has 175 calories, 25 grams of carbs, only 7 grams of fat, 5 grams of protein, not a whole lot. Interesting considering it's made from protein powder. 164 of sodium and 14 grams of sugar. I'm going to be honest, 14 grams of sugar for 1 slice of bread is a lot, especially if you're watching your sugar intake. For a woman, the recommended maximum amount of added sugars is 25 grams, and for men, it's 36 grams per day. And so 14 puts you at pretty much half for women, or more than half already, and almost half for men. That seems high to me. So if you were to take out half of that sugar, this number would go down considerably. Now you also have to remember that the oatmeal, the oats also are adding sugar to it. And unfortunately, they don't differentiate in MyFitnessPal between regular sugar and added sugars. So that's something that you're going to have to think about. But 14 grams of sugar seems high for me, honestly, for 1 slice of bread. So maybe modify it, half a cup of sugar, and replace the other half with monk fruit. We can always work on that. And then you can always go into the recipes and modify them or copy. For example, I'm going to copy it. And then I'm going to make this one no sugar. Let's see what happens if we just take all the sugar out. So instead of using these, we're going to remove, yes, delete this. And we're going to remove, yes, delete this. And we're going to add instead, although here at the bottom, we're going to put half a cup of monk fruit sweetener. I use the monk fruit in the raw, so I'm gonna put that one in. Just because I know how to use it. Oh, but it's not a packet. Cup. Let's go. Let's do a cup of that. Oh, one. Sorry. Okay, 1 cup of that. Obviously, 0 calories. It does have carbs though, if you see, because it's from a fruit, but it's from a fruit, doesn't matter. And it doesn't have the sugar. So let's save that and see the difference. Oh, I didn't do it. Okay, perfect. And then we're gonna see, let's log it and let's check it out. Let's see what it looks like. So 1 serving. This one has 125 calories. So it's 50 calories less than the other one. Here we get to compare them. So calories, it has 50 calories less. It has almost more than 10, almost half the carbs, same fat, same protein, about the same sodium, so much less sugar, obviously. So if we were to put bananas in this, obviously that would be different. Oh, maybe I'll change it to be the banana one. And that's how you can do it. Okay, so that's a way of showing the difference between what sugar is actually doing to your intake and how a little bit can actually add up pretty quickly. And also how you can enter these recipes into your MyFitnessPal to make your life easier. I really, really highly recommend that if you're watching your diet, either for weight loss, for muscle gain, for health, for lowering your blood sugar, cholesterol, all of those things, I highly, highly, highly suggest that you use a food diary like MyFitnessPal because it is very, very helpful. I've been using it for 15 years before I even thought about becoming a nutritionist or a trainer or a coach. And it helped me. I never had a coach. I never had a trainer. I never had a nutritionist. And I did everything thanks to MyFitnessPal and the Nike Training Club app. And so I know that it's very helpful and I really suggest it. I hope this has been useful. If you have any questions or ideas of anything else that you would like me to go over and show you how to do, please let me know. I would love to. And I hope this is useful again and see you next time. This is Lizette signing off. Bye.